Alright, so here we are. Now what we need to do is draw some, this thing here, by the way, comes up, view our reconciled layers. That will come up quite often. I'll just close that there, when you're dealing with external references especially. It just says it's sensing some new layers that have come into this drawing, and whether you want to have a look at them, make sure that they might not need the color changed or whatever. Basically, the layers come into this drawing. They come in as they were in the other drawing. Now, if, for example, in this drawing here, I had another layer called, where are we here? If we go to layers, if I had another layer called footings or slab in this drawing here, project 2, it'll and that the color, for example, for the slab in this layer was red. It would change it to be red. If for example later on I went and did some more work on the slab, and I came into this project drawing here, and it sensed that there's been some new layers created in the slab, it'll just ask me to reconcile just like we did before to see what the new colors are, just in case I need to change them to conform with what I'm doing here. I might want to grey them out a bit, or I want to change the color for printing purposes for this particular drawing only. All right, so that's all that is. It can be ignored really, so we won't worry about that. But what we need to do is draw some walls on here. So this thing here is landed just about 100 mil below ground, like the other one. So it's a good 0, 0 is a good point to have as a reference. All right, so now I'm going to draw some walls on here. What I'm going to do is use the poly solid. Now the walls, just to demystify this thing here, it says 250 walls. It's not quite exactly like that. What that's made out of is actually a 110 brickwork, and then there's a 50 millimeter gap for the cavity, and then there's a 90 millimeter wall, which is out of studs basically, and that's what it is. So make the internal walls 90 millimeters, it says. You can just add your own sort of design for the internal rooms if you like bedrooms, kitchen, bathroom. Just make up whatever you want in there. It's free for all. The height is 2.4 high or 2400. Yeah, and then you might wish to add a roof, which is 100 millimeter thick slab. So what I might do is actually, first things first, create some layers. So let's go here, create a layer. We need a couple of layers. We need 3 actually. We need 2 for walls, because I've got a couple of different walls. I'll have one for brickwork, and then the little trick, if you press the comma after you finish typing your name, it'll come up with a new layer, creates a new layer. It's like pressing this button here. So that's what I did then. Wall dash, call it walls. Let's just call it wall dash studs. All right. I'll change this one so it's just consistent. It's nice to be consistent. All right. So, and the other one, not that this is going to be consistent. I'll just call it a roof. That's all it is. All right. Call it a roof slab, for example, or roof covering or whatever. All right, just be careful when you're creating these layers. We'll give them some colors in a minute, that they don't come in. Sometimes they come in with this little sort of red slash through them, which means that they're non-printable. So it's not that good when you go and print them later on, which we'll do. We'll do a DWFX later on printout, which is basically a digital printout, like a PDF, but and then they don't show up. Or that's because for some reason sometimes when you're creating new, they go into this mode. Right? So we'll make sure they're like that. And I'll go and select some colors for the roof. I might go for a cyan. I'm going to use the index colors other than the 16 trillion colors that we've got here. Just going to use a simple number 4 there. And for the I noticed when we brought this in as well, I'll talk about that in a minute, the layers from the previous drawing are called that prefix. They've got the prefix of the actual name there. But let me just finish this off. The brick I'm going to make red, and the studs I'm going to make, normally they're yellow, but yellow doesn't show up on the white page later on the layout, so I'm going to go for green for that. Okay, so yeah, as I said, the layers from the slab drawing are preceded by the name of the drawing. In my name, the name I brought in was called Slab Sem 2014 or Semester 2014. Should be Semester 2, but anyway, that's wrong. And then it's got the layer name separated by this vertical line, which is the pipe symbol on your keyboard. Just make note of that, because later on when we bind this drawing, this would change, and it tells you a lot about the drawing, whether it's externally referenced or not when you're looking at the layers names themselves. All right, so that's another way of telling if this drawing has got something that's externally referenced in it. And yeah, so you can know, I mean, this is just one drawing that's in here. Sometimes you might have a multiple drawing externally referenced in here, so you want to know which drawing these layers belong to. For example, there may be a case where you might have two drawings brought in here, and they both have got a layer called slab. In that case, what happens? Well, basically, this layer here, slab, is green. The next drawing I bring in, if their layer is red for the slab, it'll become green again. Or would it? No, it won't. It'll keep it the same. Sorry, it'll keep it the same red, because in effect, there's two separate slab layers. They've got that prefix which is different. When we do bind them later on, it will give it all the same. It'll give it the color of the first drawing you brought in. But we'll talk about that later. All right, so let's draw these things before we run out of time. Okay, so let's set the layer. We'll go with brick. We'll go with studs first, because it's an internal wall, and plus it's the way it's getting built. In real life, it will get built with the studs first. But also, if I start drawing the internal wall, it will be easier for me to then draw the external wall. If I draw the external wall, I won't be able to see to draw the internal wall in afterwards. Okay, we've got too many greens here now. So I do have the option, actually, if I want to, I can go here and change this slab to something else, so that I don't have too many greens. For example, I might make this one, just like a grey color or something, which is more like a concrete. All right, so I can change that, and it will remain like that even when I update the drawing next time, as long as the command called viz retain, I'll type that in for the record, is set to 1, which it is in here. All right, it will retain the colors that have changed in here. All right, so let's go with this ugly grey looking thing here, which is not very good. Let me just lighten it up a bit. Okay. All right, so now let's draw. I'm going to use this polysolid, which is right here, and I might use actually a different thing here for you to look at better. I'm going to use shade it with edges. You'll be able to see a bit better the set down like there. I'm going to turn off perspective, because when I zoom in, it doesn't let me zoom in easily. I can't control it. I'm going to set that to 0. So a few settings before I get going, and it's much easier to zoom now. So let's go with that. We said the wall is going to be 2400. All right, so let's go with the height to 400. Enter that. Let's go with the width. It's going to be 90, and I'm going to go left justified. Left. All right, so I'm going to start drawing this thing from. Now be careful, zoom in so you can actually see there's lots of little endpoints and stuff there. So let's do that. And zooming in, there's one there. Hold the shift key down, middle mouse button, and swing around. That's there to do the next one. Right, here we go again. Just lift yourself up a bit there so you can get the right endpoint. There we go. So really have to zoom in. Ooh, I think I pressed shift right click there, so just escape once. Going too fast. And just in this end here. Ooh, there we go. There. And then we can just close there. So click on the close, and there it is. So that's the internal wall there. While I'm at it, I might draw a room in here just to give you an idea of how to draw a room inside. Okay, so basically I'll just continue. The settings are the same, so I might as well do it now. And now I want to start this room from somewhere. In this case, it doesn't really matter where we started from. It is latching to the midpoint and that sort of thing. But for once, I'm just going to arbitrarily start it from about there. So shift right click. I want to use this nearest option, which I don't use very often. And I'm just going to latch onto there. Just zoom in there, make sure we get that. There you go. Ortho is on, so I'm going across here. I can type in a number, so I can put in anything I like 3500 for example, and then I can come across here and just finish it off against that wall there. Just get in here. Now it will latch onto the midpoint, but I don't want to go to the midpoint. I want to go straight across, so I'm going to use a perpendicular, which is this one here. If you've got that there, or shift right click, and now where's there you go. You've got to be careful, there's a few others over here, like it's sort of finding the perpendicular to the outside of the concrete there, so you've got to be careful which one you get. So I'll go there at the bottom of that and click there, and there it is, and enter to finish. Alright, so that's all I'm going to do and you can do the same idea for kitchen over here. If you want to put a kitchen or something, you just leave it at that. But I want to put in the external brick now. And racing along, we've only got like 2.5 minutes left here, so let's go with the brick. And this one here, I'm going to set the height to be a little bit taller, because we've got a little set down of 30 millimeters already, so 2430 is what we want. And let's go with the width, W enter. That one there will be 110, and justification shall remain as left, which is fine. And let's go here and grab the endpoint of that. Oh, I didn't change the layer. I should have done it in the brick layer, but you know, this happens. It's not the end of the world. We can change it after. There and there. I think I got that there. And see for close. There it is. I look from the top. It should be all level in theory, except the wrong layer. So I'll just click on here, 3D solid, yes, and go to the layers here and change that to be wall brick, and there it is. Okay, so that's that there. We'll do some openings in a minute. If you want to put your roof on, I'll just do that, finish it off as well. Roof. Let's change that to the roof, and I'll use this box to do the roof. And basically we'll start from the corner here and see how that's actually, it's not working for me because it's picking up the edge. So I might just turn off this dynamic UCS for a minute, see if that works. There you go, that's working on the flat. So the dynamic UCS was thinking I was drawing on that surface there. So that's what the dynamic UCS usually does. So it's done its job probably, but except I didn't want its help this time, and I put the height of 100 as that there. So there, it's got a little lid on top at least. We can turn that off, so that's fine. Let me just go back to a layer 0, and I'll just turn off that slab so we can see through it. Just turn off the roof for now, even though we'll just put it on. All right. And we'll leave that one there, and we'll continue with some openings on this drawing, and then that should be pretty much it.